Hey everyone, Kaosy Umeh here, aka Attorney Know-It-All. Thank you for getting back with me today. So, as I promised myself, it's 2025. I will be posting every day. So, I'm here with you with a case I just wrapped up. Well, I'm in the process of wrapping up right now. And this is a case about a prenup. So, about 3 weeks ago, I was contacted by my client, and he was seeking someone to help him draft his prenup, a prenuptial agreement. So, for those of you who don't know, a prenup is basically just a contract within the two parties before they get married. And the whole purpose of the prenup is to decide what to do with your assets in case of the worst case scenario we need to separate. Now, I know not everyone's a fan of a prenup, but I tell my clients think of it as life insurance. Nobody wants to think about life insurance, nobody wants to think about dying. But in case you do, and well, we all will, but in case you do sometime soon, you want to make sure that there's something set up in place so that your family isn't worried, so that your family is protected, so that the financial burden isn't overwhelming to your family. And I think of a prenup as the same way. Is everyone going to get divorced? Of course not. Although right now about 50% of all marriages end in divorces, there are 50% that doesn't. So just think about it that way. And I also think a prenup is a very good idea, simply because at the point you're getting married is also at the point where you're most in love. It's also the point where you both want what's best for the other party. Where in all this love you're feeling right now, the happiness, the gooiness, this is when you want to protect the other party. So it shouldn't be something that's just greedy. I'm going to protect myself, myself, myself. But it can also be something that you go, hey, we're going to be married for a long time. In case the worst ever happens to you, I love you so much that I want to make sure that you know what you deserve in case we do break up, and that you're going to get what you deserve in case we break up. Um, and I think this is great because at the time of your divorce, it tends to be the lowest point in your marriage. It tends to be when you've gone from all this love and affection you feel for this person. It's completely gone, or it's almost on the way out, and you have nothing but anger and bitterness and sometimes hatred in your heart at that point. And you want to hurt the other person as much as possible. So I think a prenup is a great idea because you're making this while you're still in love, while you're still looking out for each other. So it doesn't have to be something that's so completely horrible or hurtful towards the other person. Be something that you make together in your love to protect the other person. So anyway, that's my little rant about prenup. So anyway, this client calls me up. He wants a prenup. And this is about 3 weeks ago. So after listening to him and advising him that his soon-to-be wife will need her own attorney to review whatever it is I do draft, I speak to him. I have him and his wife draw some documents just so we can properly write down all their assets and know exactly what they owe, what they have, and to see what will be divided in the future. So after weeks of this, I finally drafted a copy for him, sent it off to him last week. She sent it to her attorney because she got an attorney. And then earlier this week, I hear back from her attorney, and the attorney wants to add an extra clause that we never spoke of before, and that's a fidelity clause. Now, a fidelity clause is something that has come up in the past prenups I've done, but I've never actually had to include it in the end of the prenup because usually the parties talk about it and one person persuades the other person not to go forward with it. But in this case, because of the way several of their past relationships had ended, they both felt it was a great idea to include a fidelity clause. And basically, the fidelity clause just means in case this marriage ends in a divorce because you cheated, this is what will happen. So, A, there are three things with the fidelity clause. A, you need to define what is cheated. Are we talking about actual sex, full and blown sex? Or are we talking about, oh, you've kissed somebody and that's infidelity? Or is it enough to just say, oh, you've been texting with this person, sharing your most intimate secrets and desires with this person, and to me, that is cheating. So that's the first problem with the fidelity clause. We have to figure out where do we fall of those three, what do we pick as cheating. Problem number two is if we decide what is cheating, how do we, what sort of evidence do you need to prove this cheat? How much evidence do you need? So the options we have were clear and convincing evidence, preponderance of evidence, or beyond a reasonable doubt. So in Maryland, up until 2023, cheating or adultery was actually a crime, and you could be fined or found guilty, and you had to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, the fine for the cheating was, I think, uh, either $25 or $10. I really cannot remember. It wasn't really a highly prosecuted crime. Um, so those were the options we had. Again, I had to go back and forth with her attorney to figure out which one we were going to choose on those three. And then finally, if we can define what cheating is, what evidence of proof we need to prove this cheating, the last issue is what is the penalty. So in our case, the penalty ended up being upon divorce, the parties, instead of splitting everything 50-50, and by everything, I mean everything that you earned during the marriage. So anything, any savings, like, so according to your prenup, whatever they owned or had at the time of their marriage was going to be their own. My client was a business owner, so his business was able to be protected. We put in there that whatever income that comes from his business that isn't put into the joint account remains his personal income, free and clear of titles first. And that isn't always the case. So let's say you're married, you own a business, you're earning income from that business. Technically, that business is partly marital property and is also individual property. So as a divorce, the business is up for grabs. Or certain parts of the business are up for grabs. So in his prenup, he was able to protect that. But the prenup still said whatever went into the joint account or any properties that were bought during the marriage will be marital property. And in case of a divorce, it was going to be split 50-50. So the penalty in this case, should some party be found guilty or liable or for adultery, the penalty in this case would be, instead of splitting it 50-50, they would split it 65-35. So that would mean if they had a property, like if they were getting divorced and all their assets, after they sold the house, divided the bank accounts, the sum amount of their property, of their assets was $100,000. During the divorce, instead of him getting 50,000 and her getting 50,000, he would end up with, well, and she cheated. As me here, she cheated. I believe in my clients. I believe she isn't gonna cheat. Anyway, if that happened, he would end up with 65,000, and she would end up with 35,000. So that's a lot of money. That's almost $30,000 difference. Well, that is $30,000 difference in what they got. Yeah. Well, he got 15,000 more than she did. $30,000 difference. So yeah, that's a lot to be lost based on that fidelity clause. And let's think about it with even small amounts of money. If they only had $10,000 in assets, instead of him getting 5,000 and her getting 5,000, he would end up with 6,500 and she would end up with 3,500. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, fidelity clauses. I've never had to actually go through with one in the end, and this is the first time, so I just thought that was sort of interesting. If you have any follow-up questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than glad to answer those for you. And if there are any topics at all you feel like you would like to hear more about when it comes to family law, again, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to get back to you. I cannot guarantee when I will get back to you, but I will eventually get back to you. Yeah, that was it. I hope you guys found this helpful. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe so I can know you guys are actually enjoying this content. So that way I can keep creating this content. Have a good day. Bye.